Hi, and welcome to EDPY 667 multi-level modeling. I'm your instructor, Louis Roconey. I'm an assistant professor in the Evaluation Statistics and Methodology program at the University of Tennessee. And in this video, I just really wanted to welcome you to the class and kind of give you an overview of what the class will be like. The whole house will be housed here in Canvas. When you log into Canvas, you'll see this, this main page will land here. It has my name, my email address. The email is the best way to get in touch with me. There's a link to the syllabus here, and we'll go through that in a minute. Every Monday, I'll be hosting some virtual office hours. So every Monday, 2 to 3, you can log in here if you have any questions and concerns, whatever. I'm gonna have this Zoom link open, and I'll be there to assist you in any way that I can. I also have this link here. It's just a way for students to provide anonymous feedback. You can always email me with any concerns or anything you have with the course, but if you don't feel like, like, that really didn't go well, but I want him to know that I didn't like how we did that. I made this Google form here, and you can fill it out, and you can say, whatever you want to say and hit submit. If you want to give your name, you can. You don't have to. But that's if you want me to contact you back. You hit submit, and then I'll get an email from Google that has your comment, but I won't know who it is. So if you have something that you don't feel comfortable sharing with me, kind of face to face or through email, you can send it through that link too. All the materials will be housed in the modules, so you really don't have to go anywhere else on Canvas except modules to find everything that you need. I'll link to the discussion post in there as well. Check out the course summary here. It lists all the due dates for everything we have. Notice I have everything due on a Monday. I did that just to be consistent. Like this Monday here, I believe is Labor Day. If you need extra time, that's fine. For any of these assignments, if you need some more time to complete it, that's perfectly okay. I know it's a crazy time right now. We all have things going on, there's a global pandemic. So if you need extra time, it's fine, take it. Just email me and let me know that you're gonna be a little late. So just don't feel like, oh my God, don't stay up all night, Monday night trying to finish something. You can email and say, hey, can I take a couple days? And it'll be okay. I won't count off or anything. I just try to be consistent and just pick a day. It's all due on a Monday, and we can start fresh again for that week. So let's check out then the modules page here. Here's a link to provide that anonymous course feedback again. Here is the syllabus. We'll look at it. Let's see. So you can see on the syllabus here, same, demographic information about my email address, my office. My office is in the Bailey Education Building, but I probably won't be there this semester. This is my office phone number. You can call it and leave a message, and it'll send me an email that I have a message. I can hear it, and I can call you back. Here's more of the Zoom link for the office hours again. We're going to use this HOTS textbook, the multi-level analysis. I listed the 3rd edition, the 2nd edition is fine to use as well. I also have some other texts we're going to be using, bits and pieces of some of these other ones as readings. If you are really interested in multi-level modeling and you're going to be using it a lot, you think in the future, I would highly recommend the Rodenbush and Bright test. It's probably the Bible for multi-level modeling. They refer to it as hierarchical linear modeling. but it's really essential reading for anybody who is interested in learning more about multi-level modeling. Snyder's and Bosker's is also a really good kind of intro to multi-level modeling. It goes into, I would say it's a little more advanced than the hot test. The hot test is probably a little bit more accessible, but the Snyder's and Bosker's really is another good intro text, and we're gonna use some of their chapters from there as well. If you're going to use multi-level models for more of to analyze longitudinal or repeated measures data, I would highly recommend the Singer and Willett book. Their applied longitudinal data analysis test is excellent. So if you're interested in that, there's that there. The Gilman and Hill regression book is also a great book. They also just came out with an update just last month, but it's only on the single level regression. They're going to split it in 2 books now and have a single level, and then their multi-level book will come out later. For the statistical software, you can use whatever software you want for this class. I'm most familiar with SCADA, SPSS, and the LME4 package in R. I'm also going to show you how you can run some multi-level models in some specialized software. There's a software just called HLM. It's actually written by Rodenbush and Bright. They were some of the pioneers of multi-level modeling back in the 80s and 90s. And they wrote some of the first software also to be used to analyze this. Well, now most standard statistical packages offer a multi-level modeling capabilities. However, HLM still has some it does a lot more advanced things. So it incorporates survey weights at both levels. I know SPSS doesn't do it. SCADA will allow that. It also allows for plausible values if you're using it. And I've noticed it has fewer fewer issues converging than especially SCADA and R seem to have worse. I've had more problems with them with models converging than with like the HLM software. So I'm going to show you how to use it. UT has a site license for it, so you can run it through the apps at UTK. But for the majority of models you'll probably run in your life, you probably won't need specialized software. But just in case you ever do, you have some exposure to it. There's a link to run it as a virtual machine. Some kind of the course requirements. I'm going to create 4 data analysis assignments. This is new. Last time I taught this class a couple years ago, we only had the final project. I thought in the article critique, I thought, some people were struggling with the project because they weren't kind of practicing along the way. So that's what I'm doing with these data analysis assignments. We're going to cover random intercept models, and I'm going to give you some data in kind of a research scenario, and then you can practice running those models yourself as well. And so we'll do that for, kind of 4 big topics we're going to cover this semester. So just try to get you used to running these kind of models and kind of interpreting the results that you get. We're going to have some online discussion posts, like our first one is just introduce ourselves to each other. And you'll see I got another one planned where we're going to look up different, I've assigned everybody different like vocabulary words almost, or different topics in multi-level modeling to look up and, to research those topics and post on the discussion board what they are. So then everybody in class then has access to that. There'll be an article critique where you'll go out and find a peer-reviewed journal article in your field that uses one of the multi-level modeling techniques we talked about, and you're going to critique that article. If you need help finding an article, let me know and I can assist you in that. So for the final project in the class, which is worth 40% of the final grade, you have two options. You can either do there's a research paper option where you are going to analyze some data you have and write up the results following a traditional like APA style journal article. Here, so this option is good if you have your own data, or you have something that you are interested in. Hey, I'm going to use this for a conference presentation or for my dissertation, and you already have access to the data. This would be a good option for you to use. In the past, I tried to make everybody do this, but some people just didn't have access to data. If you need, I've listed down here some sites where you can find data. So the IRB public use data sets, you don't need to get IRB approval for those. The National Center for Education Statistics has a lot of large scale data sets that would be good for multi-level modeling. And so if you need help finding something, let me know. There's going to be I'm going to have a chance where I'm going to want to talk to you about what you're going to use, and then I'm going to have to approve both the data set and the analysis. So just to make sure that you're able to use what you have. The second option. The second option is you can write a paper illustrating a multi-level modeling topic that we didn't present in the class. So it'll be more of like a demonstration type paper where, you can include, the different decisions that need to be addressed in the analysis, the criteria for making those decisions, different recommendations for practice. And then I want you also to find like a toy data set and just analyze that as like an illustration, sort of like what we're going to do in class. And so that said in here, student and instructor will decide on the topic jointly. So you can look through the different topics that we have. These are just different chapters in the book that the HOTS text we didn't cover, but there could be plenty of other things that that's not listed here. If you're interested in something like that, come talk to me and we'll work out how that's going to work. So there's going to be different parts of the final project. In a few weeks, you're going to do an outline where you're going to identify which one of these you want to do. If you're going to do the research paper, what data set are you interested in using? What research questions do you want to use? If you already have access to the data, can you go ahead and start analyzing and calculating, say, the interclass correlation or the design effect? If it's the methods paper option, you can indicate to me kind of the topics you're interested in. Here's kind of a literature review I've started on it. It's really just a short outline of what it is you're wanting to do. Then later on, kind of mid-semester, a little bit past it, we're going to do a peer review. So you started on a draft of your paper. We're going to share it with another student in class. Everybody's going to pair everybody up. We'll switch, read each other's papers, and then critique their work, give them some constructive feedback on their work. And then finally, there's the final paper. And as we get to these different things, we'll talk a little bit more about them as we get to it. You can see the final grades and sort of the topics we're going to cover each week on here. So our first discussion is just introductions. It's just, hey, introduce ourselves. Why are we taking this class? What are you hoping to get from it? I have the statistics review assessment. Oops, did I not make this? Well, anyways, here's the review assessment. And it's, I think I have it where it's like a graded quiz in Google Forms, but as long as you do it, you get the credit for doing it. And it's just kind of a review of different statistical concepts. So we should know certain kind of know if there's something I need to hit on before we start getting into this. So it's okay if you don't know everything on there. Also on Canvas here's a answer key to it. So I mean, try to take it yourself, and then at the end of it, you can go back and you can read through my answer key here. I meant to make the answer key visible after this was due, but I forgot to. So it's there if you want to look through it. Here are the data set. I'll try to post all the data sets for the class here. If you want to, here's a link for the Hawks textbook, and you can click on it, and then you can download all the data sets that they use. So if you want to follow along with what they're doing in the textbook, you can download their data sets there. I'm going to use this high school and beyond data set and some of the class notes. And this is the popular data set that Hawks uses in his textbook. And so as we use other data sets, I'll be throwing them here just so they're all kind of stored in one place. And I've been saving them both as an SPSS and a STATA file. If you need them in another format, let me know. Or if you can't import one of those into whatever program you're using. And then for next week, I've just provided you a bunch of materials here to kind of review just plain old ordinary least squares regression. This Etherington regression back to the basics chapter is a really great overview of regression analysis. You know, what is the F statistic in that ANOVA table telling you? You know, how do we calculate the unstandardized coefficient? And it really does a great job, I think, of walking through the assumptions of the regression analysis and then the consequences for violating those assumptions. Just for full disclosure, Etherington was my dissertation chair. Here's some thoughts, on regression. I think I just took this from my Stats 3 class, so you can kind of see just kind of some highlights on regression analysis. So you can see these are just some of my notes from there. This is that Etherington chapter. Like I said, it's a really good walkthrough. Here's just a little note, a little write-up I have about multilinearity, how we can test for kind of what does it mean. Here is a walkthrough of, I've just listed the assumptions of OLS regression and sort of kind of the consequences for violating them. Kind of what's in black here is what the assumption is saying, and this is kind of my commentary on it in blue. And then these are just two other good introduction to regression kind of articles here. So I think this is like a book chapter and this is a little article. So I want you to spend the first week kind of reading through some of these things because we really need a good, strong foundation in just ordinary least squares regression because we're going to build off of it when we're talking about multi-level modeling. Essentially, we're going to, for like the random intercept model, we're going, so the intercept being fixed, we're going to allow it to vary randomly across our upper level units. In essence, really all we're doing is we're adding another error term to the standard OLS regression model, which allows us to take into account violations of that independence assumption. The next week is sort of our introduction to multi-level modeling. That's where I have the vocabulary. I want you to read the first chapter in the Hawks text. Also, this Pew Practical Guide to Multi-Level Modeling is a brilliant introduction to it. I think Pew does a great job of really explaining multi-level modeling, really breaking the process down into think 7 steps that you go through. So I think you'll really like it. These others are just brief introductions. Here's from the Kraft and DeLu intro to multi-level modeling. This is the first chapter from the Roderbush and Bright textbook. Here's another introduction from Ethington on. So if you really liked her writing style, here's her introduction to hierarchical linear modeling. And here's a primer from Hayes on multi-level modeling. And he specifically shows you how to do it in SPSS and uses that as an illustration. And then finally thing I want to point out is I've tried to put in a lot of different resources for different software packages you might use. This is a cool website. If you've never seen the UCLA Stats Consulting website, I highly recommend it. They have a lot of good walkthroughs here for, different software packages, different resources. Their annotated output's really great. But this is theirs where they walk through examples in our textbook that we're using. I think that's still the 2nd edition, but it still works. It's still all the same. So you can get the files in EDPY, SAS data, and SPSS. And then here's where they do the analysis that are done in chapter 2 in HLM, SAS data, and R. So you can see how they conducted the analysis. That's a really good, useful site. This is a really cool tutorial kind of on it. It goes through the same, the data set from the Hotz textbook, that popular data set. It goes through all the same analyses, and it shows you like what the analyses and how you interpret it, like what it looks like in SAS data, HLM, R, SPSS, and M+. And you can see in here sometimes some of the limitations between some of the packages. You'll notice, M+ only offers maximum likelihood. SPSS, HLM, and R all default to restricted maximum likelihood. So if you want the maximum likelihood estimates, you have to change the default. Stata's default is maximum likelihood. If you want restricted maximum likelihood, you have to change the default. So they kind of tell you some of those sort of things. Sometimes you'll notice in here, like Stata will have some convergence issues on one of the problems. So you can, it's a nice little comparison between them. Here's some more software tutorials from the University of Texas Department of Statistics you might like. Here's using the SAS mix command, a walkthrough from it. Here's a walkthrough using the SPSS mix command. Here's some resources using the HLM software, a link actually to the software from UT. Here's an introduction to it, and then their manual. Here's some resources using R and the LEM4 package. Bandashute is one of it's like the 3rd author on the textbook, on this edition of the textbook now. So here's his walkthrough of the data set from the books, or the popular data set using the LEM4 package. Here's some other, I think this one, it's this one that uses the NLME package in R. I think these all use the LEM4 package. This is the link to the Journal of Statistical Software. Bates was the one who wrote the LEM4 package. Here's his article actually introducing the package there too. So that should give you a brief introduction to the class and what we're going to kind of do in the next few weeks. If you need me for anything, please come to the office hours. You can email me or even post to the message board. I look forward to learning with you this semester. Thank you.